Big buttons
Mm,
being pushed, baby. We red.
is that red light on? Because
We
you tried to get
live.
me. I was about to go off. But
Yep.
I said, you know
Definitely
what?
was.
It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. Not Wednesday, where the realness start out to get us with these hitting the red button before we're ready. And for those who
Mm-hmm.
listen, the red button means we are live. It is time for another edition of Championship Culture.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Hugh,
Yes, sir.
I got a
Good
question for you.
lord. Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh, is that
Big,
the text
big,
message is going on?
big vibrating.
All the alerts. I wish back in 1986 they had that alert because remember, in February 1986, something happened that would change the bell world and it would change the face of how championships are presented today.
Mm-hmm.
hmm From that
Mm-hmm.
legendary big gold to Roman Reigns, iconic, and I'm going to say iconic because they are sought after. People are seeing them, and it was the first time, and I think I did it first. We'll get to that later. It's Tribal Chief Sideplates. It's time that we explore the difference and how it makes you feel on a title and ask, do you prefer a nameplate or a side plate? Hmm.
Hmm. Interesting.
Let's let's get to it.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, welcome to the Wrestling Realm Presents Season 4 of Championship Culture. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Brandon the Guy Guy, and remember, every belt has a story.
Okay. 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 I like how you didn't
And
say my name, but that's cool. That's
no, I was
good.
waiting for you to
I
cut
was
in. I was
talk
waiting
for
for you.
myself. I'm gonna
Okay,
put my
you got
shades on because the light is in my eyes.
here we go.
I'm back. I'm back. It's HASTHE to 3RD. Y'all know y'all miss me. Y'all know y'all miss
Oh,
me. I'm back.
oh,
What's going on, y'all?
yes, that intro was as smooth as this background. Say it again. Who are you?
No, I'm not going against. They only get it
You're
one
not gonna
time.
do it.
I
Oh,
don't
they only
repeat
get
it
one
now.
time,
Yeah,
only once,
one time.
only one.
Once in the
But on
once in the
side
beginning,
plates, you get
once in
two.
the end.
You
Hey,
get two
that's the
side
side
plates and only
place.
one name plate. Okay.
One in the
All
beginning,
right.
one in the end. There we go.
All right. Brother Hugh, welcome back.
What's
Last
going on?
last week we had to take a pause because after that show where me and the realness had it out about the U.S. title versus the Intercontinental title, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had to let that marinate for a little bit, but we wanted to come back this week with something unique and something interesting that's been plaguing us since season one of
Mm-hmm.
Championship Culture, right?
We
And it
definitely have been
seems
talking
like,
about it behind the scenes for a while.
and a lot of people, and I know a lot of people when we are in the chats with people when we are doing things, a lot of people ask like, what do you prefer? Which one is better? Which one stands out more? And I'm gonna just say a public disclaimer: I didn't like nameplates. I just didn't. But
Hmm.
I got a story about some side plates, and I'm gonna give you the story as to why I really don't like nameplates. But when we think about this, right, brother,
Mm-hmm.
here, do you want to tell them now? Or you want to wait in and tell them what side? I think we need to wait so you can tell them what side you on, right?
Yeah.
And don't forget, look, back to normal. You see
Uh
who it
oh.
is. Uh-oh, look
It's
who's in it.
Tuesday. You spelled Tuesday
You-
wrong. It's D. Tuesday.
you think?
You know what I'm saying?
So
You
you,
from Baltimore. You're
you can
supposed to say it
definitely
like you're from Baltimore. Like, come on now.
right. We got to definitely welcome those into the chat because I can't wait to hear what both of them have to say about this conversation. Brother Hugh,
Yes, sir.
when we talk about championships on championship culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
The conversation always comes up about that daggone Wing Eagle, the NWA Dome Gold, and a few titles that didn't have nameplates at all, but they
Mm-hmm.
stood the test of time and they're pretty iconic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like we can talk about the Big Eagle, we could talk about we're going to just call it the Ron Simmons belt behind me because I know a lot of people associate it with different things.
Right.
But the Big Gold, the WWF Women's Championship, all had they I don't want to say their legacy edged in history because of what they stood for at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they had nameplates. When a nameplate was added, and I said 1986 for a reason because that's when the big gold debuted, and we noticed on the big gold it had a spot for a nameplate. Now let's go back in time. That's when we had the we ain't gonna talk about the ugly WWF championship we had, but we know we had the Dome Globe, and the spiritual predecessor to that was the big gold, and
Mm-hmm.
now they had a nameplate on it, right?
Right.
When the nameplate was added to that, and I'm just going to talk about that distinctive belt, do you think it added a personal touch or did it add more attention to the belt?
It added a sense of legitimacy to the belt for the wrestler.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
with that nameplate, basically, it made sure it displayed to the people that look. It showed the people that look. I'm official. I'm officially the champion. It was only debuted. It was only on the major championship, which was the World Heavyweight Championship at that point in time. It was only on that championship. None of the other ones had a nameplate or any type of personalization whatsoever. So for you to have that specific title and get your name on it, you're etched in history forever, right? Like, and the people know it. You walk around with that bad boy, oh yeah, they know who you are. Or Ric Flair, big gold, this, that, whatever, whatever. If you walk around with that U.S. title back in the day, like, all right, who are you? We just know you wrestle. So for sure, I would say yeah, it meant something. Definitely, the nameplate. Can't hear me? Can't hear me? Just keep it going.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, we all jacked up right now. The funny part, we were all good before the show.
I thought we had
And
I thought we escaped
as
all
soon as we
technical
hit
difficulties.
that live button, everything goes haywire. Okay, all right, that's how we rocking today.
Uh,
I'm with it. Let's go.
so I know you
Back to
gave a
this.
good point about the big gold, and I'm gonna go. And the reason I named the big gold and the WWF Women's Championship because at the time that the Women's Championship was debuted or re-debuted, it
Yeah.
had a nameplate, but the men's title at the time did not. The Intercontinental title would get a nameplate, but the European title did not. The tag
Right.
team championships didn't. But it seemed like it made it a more personalized thing because now I have that attached to the belt as well. Because we can always talk about greats that hold the title, greats that did things with the titles. But it seemed like when you add a nameplate, it kind of just like stamped it as mine. My gripe with that is you're not the champion forever. So now every time I get my iconic moment, let's say if I beat you for the big gold the world championship, now in every picture when I won, gotta say, oh look, the guy won, but it has the third name on it. Yeah, so like at
Right.
least with the side plates, you can kind of hide them, and
Right.
but for stamping that mark on things and everything like that, it kind of helped, right? And I think it helped for that era. But I'm kind of glad that we've kind of moving away from that. Uh, You can't hear nothing now, can you? Brother Hugh. Brother Hugh. Now he's gone.
Let me
This is hilarious.
let me be great.
Yeah, all right.
God.
We was on a roll. We was starting off, and then I see Justice said live TV, baby. That's the funny part. So I don't know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to figure this out because this is 2 weeks straight that StreamYard does not want to cooperate with us. But guess what? We're going to keep the conversation going. Because brother here, I think I've kind of gave a little tidbit about the women's title because even when the Divas title was debuted, it came with a nameplate, and
Right.
then we saw the Undisputed Belt had a nameplate. We saw the Spinner had one, but then we get to 2013. What happens in 2013, brother? Hugh?
Oh, we got the great one, the People's Champ. He debuted a new title. So what did we get with the new title? We got side plates. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on, I don't know which one. Hold on. Ah, bad. There it is. We got side plates, custom side plates, a new marketing tool. See? You can't hear me? Hold on. My bad, my bad. Give me a second.
You said a new marketing tool, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, 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 yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know why you can't.
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
StreamYard does not like us today.
All right, give us a second while we figure this out real quick. We'll be right back.
Oh, my brother, testify.
All right, here we go. You hear me now?
Oh, my brother, testify. So, brother, here.
All right, here we go. Yes, sir.
All right, are we back? Oh, my brother, testify. So, brother, you can hear me. All right, so I don't have any audio coming back at me. So as long as you can hear me, we can keep going. But here's the
We
crazy
good.
part:
Let's go.
I don't know what you're
Let's go.
saying, and that's the even funnier about this.
Let's go.
So I don't know if it's because of the layout or what. Um,
But oh yeah, we had the Rock. He introduced the new championship, and we got side plates, which added to uh it's a new marketing tool for the WWE, and it was a new way to make money. Add to the merch. It's all about big branding. It's all about making money nowadays. So yeah, that was the start of a new era. He called it the People's Era, but that was the new era for the WWE to really push and evolve from nameplates to becoming the dominant force that they are today, money making force that they are today. He ain't hear nothing I said. Look at him. Hold on. Bring out the side plates, brother Brandon. Brother Frozen.
now we lost brother Hugh. All right, so due to all the technical difficulties, I think we might have to revamp this because we did want to talk about these, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to StreamYard is not cooperating. And I know, Justin, you are having a time with this. And this is entertaining. We thought we had it figured out from last week. But, brothers, we can tell you this. When it comes to nameplates and side plates, there's a lot of things that you have to think about. And he even said about when The Rock debuted it, he's back.
For now, let's go. What we talking about? God.
Brother, here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold this up in here so you can see it. And you talk about how the difference in this case, for the side plates.
Well, I believe that's the only case that it actually has just the regular logo and not the picture of the side plate that's inside of the box. So I mean, if you want to go ahead and show them the inside of the box real quick.
So these side plates are actually on that belt above me, but it's a neat thing that it does
Oh my
that you
bad.
have this nice display to be able to hold them.
Yeah.
And this was the original one on them, and you were able to take them off, but they're actually on the belt behind me. And when it comes to when it comes to the Pete Dunne ones, the thing that's unique, this is the actual picture of how the side plate looks. You can actually see it. And the good thing about side plates when they were debuted in 2013, it kind of made sure that you knew the logo, a smaller way to identify who the wrestler was. You were able to say, okay, directly, that's my wrestler, whether it's their name or a logo for them.
Right. Right.
You crack it up because I know it's on a delay.
Look, bro. I'm just here at this point. Go ahead.
Yeah, at this point, we might as well just show a belt and let
I'm
people
just
talk
having
about it.
fun. Just go ahead.
This
Hey, look, I'm already off script, so let's go.
because you know I got to do this just to trigger realness. So, do you prefer a nameplate on a belt like such? Because as these belts were passed around during the time frame, it was hard to keep up with them. Sometimes you saw them without a nameplate. Sometimes you saw them with the old wrestler's nameplate. And think about it between this, even when they were unified. I think when they were unified together, you know, the Wayne's favorites belts, they didn't even have the
Right.
nameplates on them.
Right.
But we know what came after this. But I will say this about nameplates versus side plates because it looked like we're going to have to get out of here because this isn't working for us.
Right.
This might be a conversation we finish on social media. When it comes to most of them, I feel like sometimes the nameplates will enhance the belt look because when Pete Dunne introduced his belt, I'm sorry, not his belt, but the side plates, these were the original side plates for this belt. Once you place this on here, the red enhances that. And I know Walter's or Pete, I mean not Walter, Gunther when he was Walter, his was just black and gold, but I think Pete Dunne enhances the look on his belt. Something a nameplate could never do. So it was important for me as a belt guy that I, very strategic about how I get the side plates, which one I put on there. And I thought that this just made a big difference because around the actual side, the plates actually same color, everything matches. It looked like it was just made for this belt.
Right. Right.
Everything about it just looked like this was perfectly made for that. Now, don't get me wrong, some of them were fine just by themselves because not all of the side plates have this. Some of them don't have color. Some of them do have color. Some of them were perfectly fine. And I know I'm impartial for NXT UK, but their original ones are still on the belt because it look like it fits perfectly. Yeah, a red probably will make it pop because of the few red stones.
A little
A
bit,
few
yeah.
likes to get on me, but the
Right. Right.
blue on this is perfect. So no matter who the champion is, in between them getting side plates, in between changing, you would still see this belt.
I know nameplates is a touch of nostalgia, but to be honest, I don't really care for them too much. The only one that really looks good on is the big gold. To be honest, I got to go with the big gold and the undisputed title too, undisputed championship. That's a pretty title with the nameplate. But to be honest, I think it's just better with the side plates, the custom side plates, because now you're able to enhance the marketability of the superstar that's holding it. So if you see a logo, now you can relate that logo to that person. Then what's next? You put that logo on a T-shirt. You put it on some hats. You put on some drawers if you want. So
Some
like
stocks,
right,
some shorts.
anything. And now everybody's going to want to do it. Going to want to have that belt or have that logo to represent their favorite wrestler or their favorite superstar. So I think it was a good move. Like I said, it was the evolution from the nameplates, but it was a marketing ploy to basically just make more money
And
to
so, like,
enhance merch sales.
and even when you said about the colors and everything matching,
Hmm.
when Finn Balor's came out, I'm pretty sure this was to. We knew that this was the demon persona, right?
Right,
And
right.
Finn Balor, it's on my Universal Championship, the red one, mainly because he was the first Universal Champion. But I
Mm,
always thought that this looked perfect on that belt. Gold and red shouldn't work together, but with this side plate, it looked best. And that's why I said when I made the comment about Roman plates, we know we got the Superman on one side and then the RR on the other side, right? It feel
right,
like it's two different ones, but it feel like it's unique to him because we know that RR is Roman Reigns, and then the Superman punch is what he's the flying through the air is his thing, right?
right,
I laugh because I did that for the WWE Championship. I got Big E on one side and Kofi on the other. The United States title, I got one side, Apollo Cruz and what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank? Bobby Lashley. Yeah, when it was debuted, they were fighting for it, and Bus, I had both sets. I was like, I don't have to choose. I can have it represent both of them. We know what the significance of Kofi and Big E are. So I was like, I don't have to choose which one. I said I could go one and one. Roman did it, so I did it too. You know,
right,
I
right,
did it first, but it was kind of cool. And I think with the marketability, only other thing different would be is what AAW did with their TNT titles, where they changed the strap completely. They changed little things to fit that wrestler, so the gold strap was whose, the white strap was who. But now when you see these side plates, oh, that was Pete Dunne. Look, that's him. That's him coming down to the ring. Walter. I'm sorry, Gunther. Um,
right.
so it just depends.
It's all about branding these wrestlers and superstars as larger than life superstars or superheroes in some aspects. So when we got the side plates, it was just all about just being larger than life, and it was all about branding. So it made sense. It made sense 100%. Nameplates, like I said, touch of nostalgia. It gives it more of a prestige look feel because of the old school traditional type feel. But honestly, I like the modern version of it of the nameplate. I can rock with that anytime, any day. What's your favorite set of nameplates or side plates?
So my favorite nameplate was because how they changed the font around on the
Mm,
WWF or WWE World Heavyweight Championship. How they changed it around and how they
mm,
changed the font looked a little differently, and you can clearly see it. But I honestly like how AEW does their nameplates because it feels like it's a permanent part of the belt. It doesn't feel like it's different. Because even though you have the screws on the end, I'm just using the tag team belt for example, because we
mm.
know in the world title they have that, and now they have side plates too. But it feels like it's a permanent part of the belt. It doesn't feel like it's something that's going to fall off or once you lose it, take it off. It feels like this is the championship.
Right.
And I think because when you look at a nameplate, sometimes the banner can take away from it or it feel like it's in the way, like how the banner on here says champion, but
Hmm.
it doesn't take away. It feel like it's a part of the belt.
So
Sometimes,
what belt do you feel like that takes away from the nameplate?
definitely the women's championship, the Buzzsaw one, the
Okay,
Divas title, because
I
it
can
felt like
see that.
it was shoehorned in there. Um, this one, it feel like it's part of it, but I just didn't really like it. Even on the IWGP version 4, when they had it at the bottom, very small. Why? The belt was so beautiful, and it was like, oh, by the way, the champion is always at the bottom. You don't need it. It could have just been there, And I was like, why put it on there anyway? Because the Intercontinental title for IWGP didn't have it. They had stones at the bottom where you would have probably put a nameplate,
Yeah.
but this was kind of like, it's there. And I think that was the first version of the IWGP that had a nameplate. Because version 1, 2, and 3 didn't. I'm
Now,
looking somewhere at 5. 5 doesn't even have a nameplate. They put it on 4 and then said, never mind, they got rid of it.
now, since you said IWGP, how do you feel about the nameplate being on the side plates?
So I like it at the inception, but when
Mm-hmm.
you have a lineage, it gets kind of convoluted. Because how do
Okay.
you, if I'm a 5 or 6 time champion, you got to keep going back and change the date, or you got to give me another bracket. So I really don't like it because I feel like it's only good for if it's a, I know you don't like this and it don't belong in wrestling, for cups or trophies. It should only be on there. When you put that type of stuff on there, I feel like you've taken part of
Understood.
it or a trophy and threw it onto a belt, and that's not the purpose for it. It needs to be on display, not to be brought into the ring every time. So,
Okay. Because originally I liked that concept. I thought it was different. It was unique for sure. It fit with the design of the actual titles. But since you broke it down that way, it does kind of make sense. Like you got to keep going back, update it. But you do the same thing with the custom plates or a regular nameplate too. So
but the good thing about a side
it's just
plate,
a little bit easier to do the side plates. Yeah.
yeah, I was
Screw
gonna
it
say
in,
with a
screw it
side
out.
plate,
Yeah.
I lost. Think about like Gunther. He already on stack, put it back on there, boom, done. You know, if you got to reorder it, it may be a while. The only thing is when a newer star or they change plans, you can always tell maybe it was a rushed change plan because they don't have the side plates ready. Or
Right.
like coming from
Right.
NXT to the main roster. I'm sorry, let me change what I'm saying. Come from NXT to Raw or SmackDown. Sometimes they go from square to round, and we get a different set, or their logo might change. So that's the only thing that really is a pain because I think Tiffany's logo changed from NXT to when she went to SmackDown, right? Because I
Yeah.
know EO's changed. So
Right.
it's a thing where it's like now you got to get a whole nother set.
So
But
now I think we skipped over because of the technical difficulties, but I wanted to bring up this style of nameplate, which was actually a side plate or a property plate at the time on the Winged Eagle. How do you
mhm.
feel about this particular design or that actual idea of putting them on as putting them on as a property plate? How do you feel about that?
So it's funny because when I first saw this and when I was, growing up, you just sort of winged eagle, right? You didn't really pay
Hmm.
attention to all the nuances, all the details. But it looks like that might have been a precursor to what they wanted nameplates to be. I think they
Hmm.
were experimenting because remember that's when the strap colors were changing, what works, what doesn't. I love that because it's a unique way that I have my stamp on the belt, and it's not taken away from the look of the center plate. It's not taken away from the look of the side plates. It's actually enhancing the fact that that six plate or that property plate has that. I thought that was always neat, and I was like, oh, why didn't they continue to do that? But that's embedded in a belt. Like I said about
Exactly.
nameplate, it feels like it's a permanent and a personal thing.
Right. 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 A little bit harder to update.
Yeah.
Got to take the whole belt apart, create a new belt. Dude, yeah, it's too much going
Unless you're
on.
gonna make it that, hey, this is your first belt, this is the one that you get. Congratulations. And if you want it again, bring that one back.
They say that was a time where they had long reigns too. You know what I'm saying? So
Years.
only a
There's
couple of major superstars, like big name superstars, you know. But yeah, for sure, for
absolutely.
sure. Okay,
And
okay,
we
okay.
we definitely can't go without saying good evening to our good friend Shannon, podcast Smitty. Don't forget your. It looks like your twin is in here. See, I think we missed out on that.
You're yeah, we missed out on a lot of stuff. Shout out
Now,
to everybody in the comments. I
yeah,
appreciate
so
y'all for
fam,
still being here, dealing with our foolishness.
always the only belt that works best for nameplates are Big Gold Undisputed IW. Now you had me T said IWGP World Title. That did not need a nameplate. That belt was so beautiful. I feel like
Yeah,
the nameplate took away from it because if you remember how it is, it's at the very bottom, and
I
it's like
mean,
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful nameplate.
you might as well just get it.
No, it's all the way over there.
It's
It's
all the way over there.
yeah, it's
Like,
all the
how
way.
big is the room?
It's all the way. Listen, we already having too many technical difficulties. I'm scared to move. Uh,
Right.
now, I'm gonna say this right
Yeah.
because he says the first Shinsuke side plates are pretty cool,
Were fire. They were fire.
and and
You still
that's
got
why.
on IC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so. A lot of my nameplates I have on belts are for specific reasons because every belt has a story. Since Shinsuke was the first one to debut us, and I just love this Shakira. I can never say this name. So please don't roast me in the comments. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And I don't want to say Ninja Star because I know it's actually the proper name. I always thought that this was neat and had his whole name on there. And
Yeah.
then everything about this, I didn't like the new logo. I was like, this one is actually freaking cool. And yes, it was black just like this. It enhanced the belt. It looked like it was made for it.
I was about to say it looked like it belongs.
Yeah, so hopefully this is the one that you're talking about because this is the one I like, and it had his whole name. I don't know if you can see it. Shinsuke Nakamura. So now, I did see this. She did have her side plates, didn't she? Lena Vega did have her own side plates, right?
Yes.
Okay, brother here.
Yes, sir.
As we talk about nameplates and side plates, we forgot another important purpose, right? We had something else, right?
Yeah, what's that? Oops.
Okay, go ahead, bring it up.
I don't know what you're talking about. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. Maybe it didn't. Did you do it when we had technical difficulties?
I think it got erased when yeah, but go ahead.
Okay, never mind.
Let me
All
see
right.
if I can put it back up real quick.
So on television, right, and how
Yeah,
the belts are displayed, you can clearly see who this is, right? You can clearly see that logo. Nameplates was always hard to read. Something about when they translated the TV, except for the big gold, because they did a
that's
dual
true.
plated with it, and it was always like a raised gold texture for it. But imagine the spinner. How many times did we know whose name was on it? How many times for the Intercontinental title did you know? You could tell on the United States title a little bit because they sometimes use black in the engraving, but other than that, you really couldn't tell. So that's another reason I don't like the side plates. I wonder how the people in the
Oh, you
comments
mean the
felt about
nameplate?
it. I mean nameplates, yeah, because I felt like it was always harder to read and harder to see. One of the things that we kind of look forward to when somebody gets a new belt, I mean, well, wins the championship for the first time, what do their side plates look like? And I know me and you were having this conversation. We were like, why did they give Jey Uso those blue plates on the side of the world title? It didn't fit. It didn't look like it belonged there. It worked on the Intercontinental
Yeah,
when he
yeah,
turned the
because
blue. It was
yeah,
perfect. But on the world title, it was like, if you're not turning that blue, why do it? So,
should have just gave him the black background with the gold. Because he was wearing that at one point. No, that was with the one, I believe.
yeah. Well,
But
he
okay.
keeps changing colors. He
Right.
like Rey Mysterio mask always says a different color.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
definitely wears a lot of different colors.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. He's one of a
Okay.
couple.
So yeah, that's what he was. This was the Shinsuke one. I did not like the new. I did not like the new logo. I thought this one was cool. Like I like Seth's original logo. I really don't like his logo now.
You don't care for the new one? It's growing on me.
It is. Is it?
It's growing on me just a little bit, but
You know, I
I
hate when
prefer
they
the first
combine
one.
letters. Like
Yeah.
it's been done too many times. Get creative. Y'all are creative people. Do something creative. Now, brother, here
Yes, sir.
I do have a question for you.
You always got questions for me.
Is there any belts that you would have rather seen, or would you have liked to see a nameplate or a side plate on?
Hmm. As far as the nameplate, no, because I don't really. Like I said earlier, the nameplate only looks good on the big goal to me in the undisputed. It only makes sense on those two championships for me. Um, Side plates, I can't really say I can't really give you an answer on that because everything fit with the time. Like for instance, I would love to say, oh yeah, put custom side plates on a big eagle, but it didn't work with that particular design. Um, so I think that the side plates they were introduced the right way on the right title at the right time. To be honest, I know that's probably a cop out, but to be honest, that's just the way it is. Now, as I'm going back through the catalog of different titles and whatnot that we had over the years, it just makes sense to me that it came out on that network championship where branding is key.
And that's a point I think we probably should make because TNA belts, as beautiful as they are, I
Hmm.
think nameplates would take away from them. But they're
Absolutely.
designed to be multiple plate belts. The network logo and even the NXT UK championship was made to be a main plate is the focus and then the champion for the side. It was actually designed that way because the smaller side, like even on this one, around it, they have very little design, especially on the United States title. They were designed to give that emphasis. Even when I look at the North American title, it was made that way for the focus to be look what the center is, so you identify what this champion is, and then when you look at it from any angle, who the champion is. Unlike the big gold the big eagle or even the winged eagle was designed to be I am the champion, me, because I'm holding this belt. Not you're the champion because you got the side plate. I am the champion because this is that belt. It's more about branding for the company and branding for me.
I think actually, let me take that back. The nameplate, it actually worked with the U.S. title too.
Really?
The flag one, the one I don't like.
Okay.
Just with that particular design, it pops a little bit more because you have that gold strip at the bottom with the name or
Okay.
whatnot. It pops a little bit more because that whole background is colored. So it shows a little bit better on TV, like you said. You might not be able to read the name as much, but you know that that's the nameplate, and that signifies who the champion is at that point in time.
And it definitely the gold helped. I think if it would be anything else, and like the reason I asked that because I know we've seen the pictures, the mock-ups of how the nickel and penny tags were going to have names on them, and they were going to put um, names on the side. And I was like, oh, please not, please. They served their purpose. That's it.
Hmm.
They live in that part of history, and they can stay there. And I know
My bad, I'm playing
AEW,
around with stuff.
the A,
My
the
bad, Joe. I'm,
AEW
I'm a chill.
the AEW tag team belts, and I like the fact they did it with the trios belt. They gave them custom ones,
Yeah,
like when they were pink and everything like that. Because I think that the custom belts stand out more than a nameplate. But the world title, the nameplate doesn't take away from everything else. I think when they added side plates, it took away from what was beautiful about the belt, and that's crazy because it was like, why would you do that? And you already have a beautiful belt. It was like, oh, we want to get some of this money. No, you were getting money. You were already charging $600 for a belt before WWE started charging $600 for a belt. Now WWE didn't quote up to your pricing.
hey, 100%.
And now this is what the good brother says. Unless the belt is outfitted for side plates, it wouldn't do anything else. Looking at AEW, see, he just proved a point about the AEW World Title. It was beautiful. Why you put a big old circle? You mess up the whole design because that belt was designed to make it say "I'm the champion."
Yeah.
Even what your twin says. Do you think the
What?
current side plates will have worked in the Attitude Era? Absolutely not. What say you, brother?
Like I was saying earlier, with that the actual design of the belts, it wouldn't have worked. It just, I don't think it would have worked with any of them. The IC title was too small. Like, that's a prestigious look.
Maybe here
Well, then again, maybe on a property place, something like they did with the winged eagle, that might have worked. That could have worked.
because there's nowhere really to put a nameplate because everything about it. I feel like everything about this belt served a
It
purpose.
meshes well. It goes together. It's just
Like maybe in here, I don't know, but
nah, no nameplates. You don't need a nameplate for that, for sure. I would.
that's why I
You could
couldn't
probably do.
understand why the
You could
women's
probably
title
do it
had
on a
the
property plate
nameplate.
though.
Yeah, I would say maybe here on the side, but then who will
Or
really
maybe
see it?
the last plate, the last two plates.
Like cut that part out,
Yeah, take the WWF out. It's all
or
WWF is all over. It's everywhere. So
if they would have put one of these here and left this one here and then put something here, put a side plate there maybe.
they could have did that. Yeah, they could have made it work.
Yeah,
'Cause you had a lot of over the top characters at that point in time too.
but
Rock,
remember it was
Austin,
hot
Triple H.
shotted a lot.
It was though. So that might not have worked because literally they'll lose it. They'll win it one day and lose it the next day. So
Right.
I'm
Like
like,
I just said, look at Kane. He got it.
hey,
We
don't
would have
disrespect
really
my
did
man's, bro.
something. No, I'm saying, but think about it. We would have got
Why you
something
always
like
gotta go straight to Kane though? You couldn't
because
pick nobody
he's.
else.
I mean, I could have said Jericho for his 24 minutes that he held it.
All
That
right, well go to Jericho. Don't go
that
to
was
Kane,
just
man.
this belt did look good on Jericho for them few minutes that he had it. Like Rey Mysterio didn't never get his side plate because he lost it to John Cena, right? The
Yeah,
same night.
right, right, right.
I could have said him, but we was talking about this belt directly. It did change too fast. Unlike the cruiserweight title, who had the nameplate, and it was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yes,
Cruiserweight title is smooth. It's one of my
it,
favorite titles.
it definitely was. And the thing about that is, nameplates serve its purpose on the big gold, undisputed title, like you said, Justin. It doesn't belong on the IWGP. I think that as long as your title shows that you're the champion, because we can talk about TNA all day.
all of their belts have always stood out as I'm the champion, no matter what, right? From the point of when they start doing their own belt, they always made sure that the logo was there, something about it that has their identity, who they are. Because ROH is the same thing. All of the ROH belts had their identity. You knew who it was, and this is who it is, right?
Hmm.
So I don't think nameplates belonged in belts because if you really think about it, the big gold without a nameplate still looks the same. Nameplate is just there at the belt.
True. True. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You
but I
think you think belt designers are moving away from including the tip on these championship belts now?
I think if WWE has done something to force people to rethink them
Hmm.
because the way they're doing it now, all their tips are unique. I think that's becoming a more thing of WWE, so it's harder to replicate. But I think that the belt makers, because remember, a tip is supposed to be one functional thing. It's supposed to weigh down the belt when you have it over your shoulder so it doesn't keep falling off. So
Mm.
when people don't understand that and they keep just slapping it, look, doing this and slapping over their shoulder, and I keep, oh, let me hold it in place and keep sliding. But if I have that weight, it's the off center the belt.
Right.
I
Right.
don't know if they're moving away from it. I think that they're realizing that it's not being used correctly and it's damaging the belt
I was about to
because
say.
it causes the scratches when you fold it the wrong way. I always like a tip because of that reason. When you hold it, it helps keep that balance on your shoulder. See how this is sliding without it? If I had a tip on there, it would keep it on there and I wouldn't have to because it keeps the balance behind me. But I do like the WWE tips because they all are unique. So,
You would think they could have possibly had an opportunity with customized tips, but now thinking about it, keep taking the tip off and replacing it and whatnot, you're gonna mess up the edging on the actual belt, so on the strap.
or
So
like
maybe
how they
why
got
they
the
didn't go with
numbers.
that.
You know how
You
they
said,
number them? They always
yeah,
number the tips. I think that's
yeah,
unique when they do the individual, maybe like 1 of 76. So you know what number you got out of the lot. But if they were to do that, maybe put the wrestler's name on the bottom of it. You could order that and say, okay, whose name do you want? And it wouldn't have to be everybody. It could
right.
be like top stars, like you could say Roman, Rock, anybody like that, and you can get that tip to replace it on there. So that would actually be kind of cool. I would like that because then when you display it like this, you would still see it, and you always have that on there. Kind
Right.
of like with the tip for, I should have grabbed the US one, but how this tip is so unique. If it's on display, you're always going to see, yeah, it's still part of WWE.
Right.
There's nothing on the back, which is fine. But if I have it like this, I'm running the risk of scratching this up. But this will stay on your shoulder a lot easier than one without a tip. Or just do like IWGP does on their official belts and give you two tips.
Yeah, hey, that's crazy.
On both sides. So I just never knew how they would do that. But good question. So
Makes sense.
yeah, last
That's dope.
question for you, brother. Here,
What's that?
do you think that we should have the two different things to represent, like Roman does, or do you think having the two of the same is a good idea or a bad idea? And the reason I'm saying that John Cena got two separate ones now too, right? But that's part of his storyline. Roman got two because it's cool.
I
What
mean,
if?
it depends. To
Oh,
me,
go
it
ahead.
depends on the superstar because not a lot of superstars. Like for instance, say if a Zelina Vega, you know what I mean? What is she known for? You know what I'm saying? Like what defines her? What logo? What symbol defines her? You know what I'm saying? So like, just put Zelina Vega on there, or whatever. Or the same thing with Jay Uso. Jay Uso, just put that on there. He got his own little flavor to it because he has the blue on it. But superstars like your John Cena's and your Roman Reigns and whoever else, you can do it probably with, like Randy Orton, the RKO on one side and the Viper face on the other side.
That's what
Like,
I meant. At see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
you
that's
can
what
do
I
stuff
think they
like
should
that.
get more of. Like
Right.
main event on one side, Jay Uso, um, Cody Rhodes, and then the American Nightmare symbol. I think those would be cool to have because remember how the Fiend for my Blue and Universal has hurt and heal. I always thought that was neat, and that's why I'm like, why can't we get two separate ones?
Well,
Because it could be a name and a symbol.
true, true. I think also for like photography purposes and production purposes, it looks uniform.
God,
Like
I
for
agree.
instance with the Shinsuke. plates. You have the same plates on each side. It just looks uniform. It looks well put together, and it just makes sense as opposed to having, oh, all right, John Cena's an exception, like you said, because this is his last run. You have one side plate here with something else on it, and this one with something else on it. It just, for photo purposes, I know that would probably drive me crazy, to be honest.
I didn't even think about that because especially on TV too.
Yeah,
And then when you try and tell a story, and what if it's something showing or it has a different look? Yeah, that is true. That dang it, you just killed that idea. Thanks, Hugh. I
you will.
appreciate that. That's why we do things here at Championship Culture. Any final thoughts on this nameplate and side plate? And I'm before you say that, I'm so
My
glad
fault. I
that we
just
was
said it right.
able.
You're welcome.
There we go.
Okay. And this was about the tip. He said he never thought about it like that. So that's the good thing about a tip. It weighs it down. Like now, watch. Next time you wear a belt, you gonna put that tip on your shoulder. Like it doesn't move. It's kind of like a counterweight balance. Like,
It has to be the full tip, though.
yeah, you can't go half tip around here. You gotta do the full tip or none. We ain't gonna talk about them belts. I got half a tip on. Okay.
I'm mad at you for having that.
Yes, it wasn't my fault, brother. Here,
They probably just did what they wanted to do.
as usual, you already knew that. Final thoughts on tips.
I have nothing for the tips. I'm good with the tips. Just get full
Okay.
tips.
All right. Final
If you want to
thoughts
get a
on
tip,
final thoughts on
just
this.
make sure it's all about the tip. You get a custom tip. Put a little something on the tip.
Why did I get you started?
I'm done.
Any final
I
thoughts
have
on
nothing else to say about the tip.
You
No,
got
I'm
anything
good.
about a
I'm good.
nameplate or side plate?
I'm sorry. What you say?
Anything about a nameplate or side plate?
I think we pretty much hit on everything. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure everybody prefers the side plates. I know
I
I
don't know.
do.
Post in your comments or go to our social media and post if you prefer side plates. I think I'm gonna post some pictures of some of the side plates I have so people can see them. I do like the fact that the what you call it has the picture on it, so you know. But I did something really crazy. Whatever I took them off of, that's the one that. See, this is a perfect example. Hold on, before we close out, I got to give this. This is my rant.
Oh God.
WWE has stopped painting a lot of their belts, so this is
Oh
a
yeah.
perfect side plate, right? This came off the Universal title. See that black ring?
Mm-hmm.
This has come off of this. It has been sitting in a case since I've got it, and I've had this for probably how long have I had this side plate? Probably about almost 2 years now.
About two.
So, how did this come off of here? Because they used this plastic in place of painting like they used to do, and now it's been popped off. So now I'm
That's
gonna have
similar
to.
to what you said with the women's championship, the SmackDown
Yep,
championship. How they
yep.
use
My
that
smack
that plastic, yeah, instead of
the
painting the actual.
NXT
Yeah.
Cruiserweight title. Things that popped off my NXT UK. So yes, I know I've been very high on get your belts from WWE, but that is one drawback. This has been sitting in the case in a controlled environment, and now it's separated. So,
That's
ladies and
what.
gentlemen, please be mindful of that. You'll see like little snippets sitting around in your belt room or your belt collection, and you'll just like, oh, what's that? And then happen to look at your belt and realize a part of plastic have come off because back in the day, this would have all been painted. So I'm glad I looked in here. Now I gotta fix that. But I always say whenever you put the side plates on, just put this back in there. Or sometimes because of how the color are on certain belts, like how we saw in the NXT, it was blue. You might
Yeah.
be able to use that on a different belt. I know one of the things that people were angry about with the United States title, the side plates didn't have any color. So a lot of people on the site said, "Oh, take it off that one and put it on there." They are interchangeable. All the men belts are the same except for NXT. If they were square side plates, they only fit the NXT ones. But all the circle ones fit. So like the North American and the actual championships were all square. But if any of them were circle, they all fit all the men's, not the women's. The women's all fit the women's, and all the men's fit the men's. And they do have the unique ones that they have for PLEs. So now you get like the WrestleMania, the Backlash, all those different type of ones. I think it's mainly WrestleMania and like the big four. I think WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do the Royal Rumble one, but I know definitely
I'm
they
not sure, but I'm
select.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming soon,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
especially if they move it to Saudi.
And on
I'm
that
just saying.
notion, hey, did you see what you? Oh yeah, that was definitely just an episode.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you comment your thoughts, just like Justin did. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and never miss a chance when we go live because we might have technical difficulties. Always a fun
Oh
time
wait.
with us. Oh yeah. Follow us on all our social media platforms. I'll probably post some of the side plates I have so everybody can see different ones. But tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for the next episode of Championship Culture. Until next time, keep your eyes on the goal and remember, go ahead, you hit them with it.
Oh, every bell has a story. You believe that? Believe that. We out. Peace.